recently of the core group of the Obidient movement. This we did on the public clearing, and everybody saw it, and then every one of them, we have been engaging them as the case may be. So finally, I just wanted to talk about the issue of funding. We all know that the Obidient movement is a voluntary organization, and so it must have its independent funding. As we speak today, because of the fallout of the 2023, remember very vividly His Excellency Mr. Peter Obi, also with Aisha Yusuf, gave a public accounting of what was, people donated and support and all. It was carried, some were trying to be mischievous about those figures, but for his credibility, he makes sure, and I want to challenge, there is no any other group in Nigeria at the moment that can tell you that it has presented its accounting to the public. Only Mr. Peter Obi was able to do that, even for funds generation, and support. And I think that is part of the leadership quality that His Excellency possesses. And so this time, what we do is that we want to make sure that the account that will be published and be used is managed by Mrs. Ndidi. Ms. Ndidi is the treasurer of the movement, and then very soon we will make public whatever account that is going to be used for those who wish. It's not mandatory. Those who wish to support the movement, because many people have been supporting the movement individually. All the programs that we've done were supported by Nigerians, and recently now we've had all of our people who are building trust in what we have on the ground now to say, Tanko, where can we assist? What can we do? And we appreciated that. And that is the reason why we thought, okay, it is the best time now to let people have an account that you may decide to support the movement by sponsoring things on your own that you know you can see it vividly that it's working. You may not necessarily have to give us money, or so you may want to support a memorabilia and all, and you see it that is being used. So that way we can have trust. So nobody is cashing out or thinking that probably somebody's going to use the movement to cash out for money and all. No, this particular leadership does not want to condone that, and then we only want to make sure that the right thing is done. And I want to say, ladies and gentlemen, we have a very big task ahead of us, and funds will be needed to execute whatever it is that we need to execute for the interest of our movement. So it has been a very, very challenging and we know we can give room for improvement in the areas where we are falling short of what we are doing, but also know that it is a collective work. It is not an individual thing. One person cannot achieve. We have a very bad situation in our country, decayed to the core. It needs a lot of mindset, strong mindset, to be able to canoe this ship to exactly the destination. So I want to thank you for listening to this little update, and I'm hoping that if there's any question that you want me to answer, I will try to give it the best answer I can. Thank you. Yes, please.
I have a little question that I want to use. I want to follow up with what you said. Something you mentioned about those seeking office. So, I mean, we've seen this before. It happened in 2022, where a lot of people were riding on the wave of the movement. This time around, we want to make sure that we have good governance coming from the people who are coming with the Obidient movement. So what are the modalities that are being put in place this time around to ensure that the people who emerge from amongst us are credible, competent, and people of notable character, so that we can represent us truly and provide that dividends of good governance?
Okay. What we did with the leadership in the state, we started that responsibility of collating names and those who have shown interest, so that we can know those His Excellency will work with. Under Mrs. Salma, Ms. Salma is a leading collegiate leader in Benue State, and so she's collating all the names. We will be able to provide every state with our contact, and every state, every local government with our contact to show, because His Excellency has mandated us to say who are those that want to work with us. So the modalities are very, very clear. We want people who can clearly tell us who they are, what they've done, where they are, and what they want to achieve for Nigeria through the Obidient movement. And we want a situation where we have a template, and those templates will be publicly made so that we can be able to pass through them. And your capacity, when I say capacity, in terms of your individual capacity, means a lot. What I mean is that how popular are you, and what are the financial capacity that you have to be able to finance your campaign, so that we can know where may be necessary for other persons to come in to support you where you are short, and the area when you meet up the threshold. Then if you meet up the threshold, then there are also going to be a form of a commitment to do the right thing. Not this one when you get to the office and then you leave the movement in complete fallow. I said it with all due respect. Many of the people who were able to win elections under the Obidient movement, even though it was not structured at that time, are not helping the movement. People who will be able to commit themselves to support the needs of the movement. That is how countries are able to survive and create a winning team. We want to have a convention. We want to have a convention where all of us can gather physically. We have the capacity to fill in the Abuja Stadium, which is just 60,000 population. We can fill it with about 176. Let's just imagine we have 176,000 polling units. Let's say one person from each of the polling units are being sponsored to come to Abuja. We will fill that stadium with 176,000 persons. And I know the Obidient movement has that capacity. So imagine if we have 176,000 persons gathering in a group, in a place, and then His Excellency Mr. Peter Obi comes in and then make an announcement and address the people. That will speak in volume. These are the kind of things that we have in plan to do. But then we will need everybody. We may not have to gather people and tell them to come. We are providing buses to them. Individually, we can sponsor them and say, you, in all of our local government, as a contestant, I'm supporting my people with transportation money. One by one, they come into the venue, and then we fill the stadium. And then we speak to ourselves and mobilize and speak in the areas of what will make a lot of money. So this is some of the things that we have in plan. We want people who have the capacity to support the movement, not those who are hypocritical about it. Now they got to the position of power, they only neglected the vehicle that brought them in. Honestly, we are really looking into that seriously.
All right.
Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. All right, guys, we'll be very soon. We'll be opening up the speaker corner for questions. But in the meantime, I just want to move this to
discourse and entering deciding and debating about global order and the future.
Okay.
In particular, as you said,
I'm coming back to you.
Soft power
would you like
is
to
also
add more to
entering
what
our
Dr.
thing
Tanko said about how we are, the yardsticks we're looking at to qualify those who are representing us or who are going out there to run for office? And then to add to that, the finance part. I believe people will have questions, but if you could share more as to how this is going to
and Ogbeni Rauf Anego-Shola from the INEC portal, after INEC has deposed to an affidavit saying that these two leaders of the party, that is the national chairman and the national secretary, that they came into the leadership of this party through due process of the law. in accordance with the constitution of ADC and in accordance with the Electoral Act. Now that INEC somersaulted and removed the names of the national chairman and the national secretary from this portal, we are saying that they have shown to be biased under Amitoku. I can't even pronounce his name very well because bad people have a way of bearing bad name.
Very bad name. Function independently of the core group of the Obidient movement. This we did on the public glaring, and everybody saw it, and then every one of them, we have been engaging them as the case may be. So finally, I just wanted to talk about the issue of funding. We all know that the Obidient movement is a voluntary organization, and so it must have its independent funding. As we speak today, because of the fallout of the 2023, remember very vividly His Excellency Mr. Peter Obi, also with Aisha Yusuf, gave a public accounting of what was, people donated and support and all. It was carried, some were trying to be mischievous about those figures, but for his credibility, he makes sure, and I want to challenge, there is no any other group in Nigeria at the moment that can tell you that it has presented its accounting to the public. Only Mr. Peter Obi was able to do that, even for funds generation and support. And I think that is part of the leadership quality that His Excellency possesses. And so this time, what we do is that we want to make sure that the account that will be published and be used is managed by Mrs. Ndidi. Ms. Ndidi is the treasurer of the movement, and then very soon we will make public whatever account that is going to be used for those who wish. It's not mandatory. Those who wish to support the movement, because many people have been supporting the movement individually. All the programs that we've done were supported by Nigerians, and recently now we've had all of our people who are building trust in what we have on the ground now to say, Tanko, where can we assist? What can we do? And we appreciated that. And that is the reason why we thought, okay, it is the best time now to let people have an account that you may decide to support the movement by sponsoring things on your own that you can see it vividly that it's working. You may not necessarily have to give us money, or so you may want to support in memorabilia and all, and you see it that is being used. So that way we can have trust. So nobody is cashing out or thinking that probably somebody is going to use the movement to cash out for money and all. No, this particular leadership does not want to condone that, and then we only want to make sure that the right thing is done. And I want to say, ladies and gentlemen, we have a very big task ahead of us, and funds will be needed to execute whatever it is that we need to execute for the interest of our movement. So it has been a very, very challenging and we know we can give room for improvement in the areas where we are fall short of what we are doing, but also know that it is a collective work. It is not an individual thing. One person cannot achieve. We have a very bad situation in our country, decayed to the core. It needs a lot of mindset, strong mindset, to be able to canoe this ship to exactly the destination. So I want to thank you for listening to this little update, and I'm hoping that if there's any question that you want me to answer, I will try to give it the best answer I can. Thank you. Yes, please.
I have a little question that I want to use. I want to follow up with what you said, something you mentioned about those seeking office. So, I mean, we've seen this before. It happened in 2022, where a lot of people were riding on the wave of the movement. This time around, we want to make sure that we have good governance coming from the people who are coming with the Obidient movement. So what are the modalities that are being put in place this time around to ensure that the people who emerge from amongst us are credible, competent, and people of notable character, so that we can represent us truly and provide that dividends of good governance.
Okay. What we did with the leadership in the state, we settled that responsibility of collating names and those who have shown interest, so that we can know those His Excellency will work with under Mrs. Salma. Mrs. Salma is a leading collegiate leader in Benue State, and so she's collating all the names. We will be able to provide every state with our contact, and every state, every local government with our contact to show, because His Excellency has mandated us to say who are those that want to work with us. So the modalities are very, very clear. We want people who can clearly tell us who they are, what they've done, where they are, and what they want to achieve for Nigeria through the Obidient movement. And we want a situation where we have a template, and those templates will be publicly made, so that we can be able to pass through them. And your capacity, when I say capacity, in terms of your individual capacity, means a lot. What I mean is that how popular are you, and what are the financial capacity that you have to be able to finance your campaign, so that we can know where may be necessary for other persons to come in to support you where you are short, and the area when you meet up the threshold. Then if you meet up the threshold, then there are also going to be a form of a commitment to do the right thing. Not this one when you get to the office and then you lift the movement in complete fallow. I said it with all due respect. Many of the people who were able to win elections under the Obidient movement, even though it was not structured at that time, are not helping the movement. People who will be able to commit themselves to support the needs of the movement. That is how country are able to survive and create a winning team. We want to have a convention. We want to have a convention where all of us can gather physically. We have the capacity to fill in the Abuja Stadium, which is just 60,000 population. We can fill it with about 176. Let's just imagine we have 176,000 polling units. Let's say one person from each of the polling units are being sponsored to come to Abuja. We will fill that stadium with 176,000 persons. And I know the Obidient movement has that capacity. So imagine if we have 176,000 persons gathering in a group, in a place, and then His Excellency Mr. Peter Obi comes in and then make an announcement and address the people. That will speak in volume. These are the kind of things that we have in plan to do. But then we will need everybody. We may not have to gather people and tell them to come. We are providing buses to them. Individually, we can sponsor them and say, you, in all of our local government, as a contestant, I'm supporting my people with transportation money. One by one, they come into the venue, and then we fill the stadium, and then we speak to ourselves and mobilize and speak in the areas of what will make a lot of money. So this is some of the things that we have in plan. We want people who have the capacity to support the movement. Not those who are hypocritical about it. Now they got to the position of power, they only neglected the vehicle that brought them in. Honestly, we are really looking into that seriously.
All right.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much. All right, guys. Very soon we'll be opening up the speaker corner for questions. But in the meantime, I just want to move this to. Can you guys still hear me? Naza, can you still hear me? Okay. Chukwudi, I'm coming back to you. Would you like to add more to what Dr. Tanko said about how we are, the yardsticks we're looking at to qualify those who are representing us or who are going out there to run for office? And then to add to that, the finance part. I believe people will have questions, but if you could share more as to how this is going to play, that would be great. And lastly, where do people plug in? How does it work from the ward level? When people come in, how does it play in? This is just by attending the town hall. How do they pick up their task or pick up whatever their roles are when they register?
Okay, sorry, let me just understand your question on funding. Are you talking about the funding for the candidates, or you're talking about the funding?
No. General finance, funding for the movement. You know, I mean, this conversation has come up many times. So we're now coming with a fresh page. We're saying we want to do this right? Make sure that whatever finance is coming to this is used judiciously and accounted for, and there will be transparency. So if you want to add more to what Tanko shared about that in details, fine.
Okay, thank you for that. So in terms of, I'll start with the candidacy. I would want to put something before I make my submission, is the fact that evidence-wise, there's been conversations about to achieve meaningful change and meaningful development in any nation, it takes about 2 to 3 decades. Why I say this is that so that it helps us manage our expectations of what we can achieve at every phase. While we want a country that works and functions, meaningful change politically takes about 2 to 3 decades. So this is telling you that some things we would achieve on the short term, some things we will achieve on the long term. Long term wise, we are looking at to get to a point whereby for people to run for office, they start preparing about 2 years in advance. It's not the case of 1 week or 2 months to election, people start running. We are trying to get ourselves to a point where we say, or for you to run for office as an obedient, this is 1, 2, 3 processes that you must complete. You probably, let me give an example, the School of Public Policy and Governance that is run by Madam O.P.S. Sekwesili. You must probably have completed a 3-month course there. You must have done this, you must have done this, you must have demonstrated you have done XYZ to be able to achieve before you can become eligible. So this is the long-term vision that we're hoping that we will get to, whereby there are minimum benchmarks and minimum standards for candidates to emerge. However, before we are able to structure ourselves to get to that point, what we have at the interim now is that people need to demonstrate themselves to be acceptable within their local places. It's not that somebody just sits anywhere, you've not been participating, you've not been engaging your people. They just come in and say, oh, I want to run. In certain places, it might fly because what is happening is maybe you go to a place that they don't have any strong candidates and they're just looking for any candidate and then they might back you. But in other places, we're beginning to see across the obedient movement where certain candidates are told, sorry, we cannot support you because we don't know where you are. This other person, you might be coming with a lot of resources, but this other person we know. This other person we have been working with, we can vouch for this person. Hence, this is the person we're going to back. So these conversations are already happening across the obedience movement nationally. We would be trying to compile names, but we will be vetting those names through the local structures. And the local structures should be able to give an account of who you are before we can all throw our weight behind you. So that's basically where we are at the moment. But why I'm saying that is because it's not yet all perfect with us. The elections are already before us. Certain things cannot be in place. But long-term feature, probably by the next 2031 election, we would already be coming up maybe 3 years before the election to put out as a movement, this is our minimum benchmark. And if you know you want to be eligible, start your processes. Don't be a last-minute person, because we feel like leadership should be intentional. You should be able to sit down, articulate your thoughts, know what you want to do, not the one that you are saying, I want to run, but you just give me like 3 months, I will go and propose my proposals and my manifesto. No, you should have sat down, done your consultations, done your surveys and all of that. So I don't know if that answers the question. In second question that you asked is about the funding. Now, with funding, one thing that happened in the last election, because we had multiple heads, everybody getting funds to different points. Now, there are certain things that are established, which certain events have demonstrated to us. In Nigeria, it's a low-trust society. Hence, people always want to put their money where they think it's already working. We saw a typical example with NSAS, whereby immediately people could see that the funds were being utilized for something. We saw the massive input. But on a layer to that is the fact that Nigerians and their tech usage do not particularly enjoy clicking multiple times. So if Nigerians have to do a tedious process of verifying who it is that they are giving their money to, then you might lose a lot of support there, because people will be like, oh, I'm just sitting on my phone now, I see this thing, oh, it's a good idea to support, but oh, I need to now check whether this is a valid organization, who is this? But if we're able to do that pooling as a unified structure where we say, okay, this is the central purse we are pulling money into, and this money that you know that you're supporting the movement with for a better Nigeria, 10% will be used at the center level, at the national level, to be able to carry out activities. 40% will go to your local, that's your state. The other 50%, that's 50% or 40% go straight to your local levels, right? So these formulas are things that we're working out now in terms of sitting down to have the understanding at the global colleges level. I think that's some of the issues that are pending for like next week conversation, to decide on what are going to be the formulas, because when we start opening up to funding, we want to make sure that everybody knows where the funds is going to go to. So if you come in and give us 100 naira, you know that 20 is going to the national, 30 is going to this point and that point. But most importantly is the accountability bit of it, is the fact that one thing that we would insist is a regular update of every penny spent. Every penny spent. We will be able to work out, should we do a quarterly accounting system whereby every quarter on your website, on your web email, if people notice, you'll find out that some people got emails. If you are registered on the website, when it was ADC registration, you got emails telling you, go and register on the ADC. We are hoping that if we are able to increase our capacity in media in the next few weeks, we will be able to start sending out our regular newsletters on a bi-weekly basis to give updates. And that is the same process we're going to take with funding, is the sense that on a quarterly basis, you will get updates of every penny that goes in, right? So there are models to that we're all sorting out, and we will all be making that decision together. When we come to spaces like this, we're expecting people, if you have an idea, bring the idea. If you feel like it's a proposal, go on the website and submit that. That way we can be able to get the best idea of what. And if you remember my first introduction, in fact, we want to build a loop that everybody's idea matters. I am not an accounting person. There might be somebody here who works in the Big Four, who is top-notch accounting, who has been able to design something significant for an organization somewhere in the world. Because one thing I always share in mind is the fact that every top organization in the world, there's a Nigerian there. And if we can bring all this, our talents and everything, to improve our country, then we will have one of the greatest countries in the world. So if anybody has an idea that they think this is a better way to structure the funding and ensure transparency, because at the core of it, like I said earlier, is that Nigeria is a low-trust society. So to be able to win people's trust and get them to donate is the fact that you must be 100% transparent. That's what we're standing for, just like our principal stands for it, that digital and the analog mechanisms, in the sense that we are tasked to be your state, your local government, your ward, and all that. So immediately, it automatically populates on your own page, your leaders for you. Now, you don't even need their phone numbers. Right in there, you can communicate with them. In addition, all of these leaders, we are trying to make sure that they all have their access points whereby they can schedule meetings on that platform. So if I am from, for example, in Alimosho local government, I will get a notification when there is a meeting of Alimosho local government. And that way I can attend wherever the meeting is scheduled. And when I get there, then I now do the fiscal issue. And then decisions are taken that are local to that people. Because one thing we must understand in Nigeria is, as much as we're a nation, our perspective differs. What politics feels like in Bielsa is very different from what politics feels like in Sokoto. And when you start crystallizing it down to the various locals together in that small perspective, so that they can collectively determine what works for them. We don't want to just sit down at the nation and say, oh, we want to do 1 million man march tomorrow, or we want to do a cleaning day tomorrow. We want people to make decisions at those local levels, what matters to them, what politics means to them. And collectively, we can amplify, we can support and make sure that the leadership of Nigeria matters at every point, and our obedient people are at the forefront of driving that message home. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much, Chukwudi. We've already spent 1 hour on this conversation. You see how quickly time is passing. So I know everybody is raring to go now. A lot of people are raring to go now, and we're getting into that interaction. That's the next section we're getting into now. And I think we should do it this way. We will have questions, engagement, just coming with questions about anything that you are concerned about. Even if you have it in your head as something that you think should be done, you can turn it into a question. I mean, everyone here knows how to do that, I assume. And then when we have done a lot of that, I mean, when you bring the questions, then Chukwudi or Dr. Tanko can respond to that, can engage some more, they respond. If I want to come in, I can also come in and help with that, depending on what the question is about. Then after we've dealt with the questions for some time, we'll now move over to contributions. That's when the ideas, insights starts coming. If you have anything you would like to contribute as per what we should be doing or what we can do to strengthen what we're already doing, you can bring it after that. So this session is strictly questions, please. Strictly questions. So just make it brief, avoid any protocol, go straight to the point. Sometimes you might decide to mention who you are directing the question to, or you can just throw it up there and anybody can pick it up and answer. So we will start with, let me just say this, we have a ground rules. I laid it down in the beginning. This is a civil conversation, so we have to respect ourselves,
leaders democratically. So we in the diaspora, we've been doing everything. I want to also thank all my fellow leaders in the diaspora, those in the UK, especially those of you who did the protest in front of the parliament.
Elvis, please save our time. Let's go.
Yes, I'll save your time, but I'll have. This is also a movement of the business. So just let's do it like we're okay. I've not even spoken for one minute. Okay, we are doing an obedient movement and it's an update. That's what's the topic.
Remember what I said.
So we need to also
hold on, please. Remember what I said.
But let me just ask my question.
Okay, go on.
So no, my brother, don't do like this, okay? We've used one.
We will do that. We will do that.
But introduction is an introduction before you ask the question, okay?
It's not like we don't.
If you have allowed me, I would have ended.
Hold on. This is the reason why I'm doing this. We will have more than 20 or 25 people coming here to speak. And if everybody follows your step, we're not going to be able to exhaust this in 4 hours.
Yeah, but you can give people you can give people like 2 minutes or 1 minute.
So what we can do is deal with the questions first. We'll come back when we now talk about our contributions. Do you understand? That's the order of the conversation, please.
Lord, thank you very much.
All right, who would like to respond? Dr. Tanko, would you like to respond, or Chukwudi?
Okay, so I'd just like to come in because there's something I think we want to try to do to structure these conversations to help everybody, because if we don't structure, then we will just talk and it's all over the place. Today is more of an update of the movement in terms of actions and all that. And I'm appealing to people who are leaders in the movement. You have the opportunity to do the Global Coordinating Council meetings and all of that. Your questions, you have enough time to engage with the leadership. Most of this space, these public-facing spaces, are going to be full people who don't come to these meetings, who do not have this thing. So that's something I feel like if you're a leader, we have meetings where we discuss as leaders. Let's not take the opportunity for other people to do that. So that's something I just want to put out there. In terms of the question as regards what are we going to do? The pressures are out there. There's a whole plan to be releasing some letters and all of that. But why we also have the diaspora councils and all of that is what we saw in the last week. I think there was a conversation about the protest that was held in London. We are mobilizing to have all these pressure points, because there are multiple pressure points you can use. You can use the media, you can use government connections and all of that to be able to put pressure on the country. However, those things are quite limited. We're still doing the process of going to courts and all that, but can we put pressure on the judiciary to be able to ensure that the right things are done? Yes. However, do the principal and all other leaders of the opposition also have other plans up their sleeves and all of that? All of that is in the process. So that's just in a nutshell. I'm not giving out too much about this action, but most importantly is I would appreciate if we can keep to the topic of the day, which is where are we with the movement today? Thank you.
All right, thank you for that. Let's go straight to Maverick. Maverick, you have the mic. Go for it, Maverick. Maverick, can you hear me? Okay, let's go to Nati. Idoko Nati. Idoko Nati, can you hear me? Please, if you come into the speaker corner, stay by your phone so that you are ready to speak when we call on you. Tammy, take it up. Tammy. Maybe there's a network issue because we can't have 3 people unable to speak at the same time. Ibrahim, can you hear me?
Okay. Yeah, I can hear you.
All right, go on.
Yeah, good evening, all. It's my pleasure to be with you this evening, and my questions or contributions go this way. And I took my time to listen to the whole of the summit you've made this evening, but my questions go this way. Because we all know that 24 hours is very much with respect to politics, particularly in northern Nigeria. So a lot of people ask us a lot of questions that are yet to be answered. If I had wanted to answer the questions, I could maybe have met some flaws, but I just want to use this opportunity to ask you for clarification. Particularly, what is ravaging the North right now, economically, security-wise, and in terms of the power. So I just want to channel this to you. Maybe what are the parameters of the OK movement? It will be fixed, it will be that, but what are these step-by-step procedures that will be followed in doing that? And secondly, the issue of the power of the country, what are the, because a lot of promises right back from the Obasanjo, Eradua, and things like that, none of them could be able to do something like to fix it, to put in order, which is actually affecting the businesses in the northern part of the country and other part of the country. So I just want to, what are these step by step that could be used to, canvas for the votes from the masses? What are those things that could be used that we can even use it the way Tinubu said, if I could not fix power, I should not be elected, because we'll use that against him in our campaign, strategy. So I just want to give us a clear roadmap. What do we have for us to fix security, the issue of power, and the economy? So these are my questions. Thank you very much for giving me the opportunity to speak to this evening.
All right. Maybe I think we should take one more question before we have a response from Chukwudi or Tanko. So let's hear from Tammy. Tammy, are you still here? Tammy. Okay, Tammy's gone. Nati, go for it. Nati, can you hear me? Okay. Abiodu, go for it.
Yes, good evening. I have a question for Dr. Yunus. Yunus? Dr.
Yunus,
I beg your pardon. Dr. Yunus Tanko. Yeah, thanks for the mic. Mr. Tanko, is the Obidient movement an interest group? Because it talks like an interest group, but it does not act like it. That's the first question. Second question, Peter Obi is going to become president. He's going to serve his term. And like his predecessors, he would move on. Would the movement still be called Obidient, since Obidient was coined out of Obi? And lastly, does the Obidient management need help with drawing up memorandum of understanding with those that may want to use the movement to run for political office? I think that may help in establishing agreements between the movement and those that may want to use its platform to run for political office, so that they can deliver on the policy interest of the Obidient movement. So if you do, I'd like to talk about it at your earliest convenience. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you so much. Yes, of course, there will be a kind of a form of agreement. And that was why we said if you have good ideas that you think can help us, we'll be ready to engage. So please try and reach out to Dr. Analo as you have good ideas on how you think probably those documents should look like. We'll be very, very happy to have your perspective to it. Yes, the Obidient movement has an interest. The interest is Mr. Peter Obi. We believe that Mr. Peter Obi will usher in good governance for Nigeria, being that he has been able to do that while he was a governor in Anambra State, and with clear-cut objective and accountability. And the accountability is the only governor so far on record that he has been able to really provide infrastructure, not borrowing one single kobo, not like the way this our president is doing every day. We are borrowing one kobo from another, and yet the people are not seeing those money that have been borrowed. And Mr. Peter Obi stood tall throughout his tenure. He made sure he paid all the outstanding pension and gratuity without borrowing anything, and at the same time leaving about 75 billion naira in the coffers of Anambra State. The only governor that did that was former President Musa Yar'Adua, who left about 5 billion naira. So you see, clearly we have an interest in him because we believe he has been able to prove himself beyond reasonable doubt, and he has been able to show accountability. If we can get such a person in office to lead this country, we would have had what we are requesting for, which is clearly good governance with accountability and productivity for the country. And at the end of it all, the movement is coined around his name because of his credibility, consistency, character, capacity, and then compassion. So this particular 5 guiding principle of the 5 C's will help us to mediate some of the activities of his character even after he has become president and left the office. The truth about it is that the movement remains because it's the movement of clear-cut philosophy and idea that others will take over from what we have been able to establish. So that way, it will be something that will continue for the interest of Nigeria, not a one-time, one program thing. No, it's a continuous thing that we want to establish for the interest of the country. And the other question that was being asked about what do we have for the North, let me clearly say the OK movement is a clear-cut advocacy for the joint ticket of Obi Kwankwaso. It's a clear-cut advocacy that we want these 2 persons to lead us. Not like I said earlier on, we've been on this matter for the past 4 years plus. It's verifiable. We've been on it, trying to ensure that we have this candidature. And so, if Nigerians who have spoken now in volume indicate that these are the people that we want to lead us, this is what we should champion to ensure that the party understands this. The political party that we may run with understand this particular advocacy and say the Nigerian youth and the Nigerian people have spoken and this is what they want. And if that should be established, I can tell you, Mr. Peter Obi traveled to Egypt. He wants to know how did they generate power and even give it to other neighboring countries. Mr. Peter Obi is seriously interested in agriculture. He knows that agriculture is a money-making machine that can transform the fortune of the North. Because what you get in agriculture can quadruple what you are getting in oil. And who will be the benefit of those particular initiatives? The Northern people, the Northern youth. These are things that I have been saying consistently. We must emancipate ourselves from the shackle of poverty. And let me be humorous with you. The Igbo man knows how to search for prosperity. The Igbo man has been able to prove himself beyond reasonable doubt in everywhere. Anywhere you go where you do not see a Southeastern man, please run, because there's no prosperity in that. So if we have a Southeastern man who, with all due respect, does not tout it, Mr. Peter Obi does not even tout it, but is somebody that can energize the base, somebody that is a wealth creator, is somebody that can account for money. He can be able to tell you that there is a prospect here. There was a situation that happened just a few days ago in Abuja, and somebody was low in terms of income, and he taught the man how to generate funds within 1 hour. Today, that guy is a millionaire because he taught him. He taught him what he need to do based on what I just want to protect his name. He taught him that, look, you can use this. And we need that. We need that. The poverty rate in Nigeria is so high. People can't eat a square meal. There's hunger in the land, in the midst of plenty. So Mr. Peter Obi, we, not even him, we can assure you with his leadership and combined with the kind of empathy and compassion that both of them have, him and Engineer Rabiu Musa Konkosu. And I'm promoting this. I'm not shy about it. It's very important because these people, for me, they've proved beyond reasonable doubt that they have the capacity and they have this country at heart. Imagine this security challenges in this country. It's out of poverty. It's out of poverty. Our local governments are not getting the funds that they are being promised or being told that they have. Local government cannot execute normal street requests. Street requests in numbering, building roads, schools, and all of that. They cannot do it because they don't have the funds. So imagine if we make sure that each local government has is for 774 local government have a domicile way of survival, and we engage them into productivities and making them more involved. They will be the first person. They will be the first people to protect their interests, because majority of their children who may be involved in this heinous crime will not be involved in it because they have something to protect. Simply 50% of insecurity has been taken care of. And those are the things that he wants to do. So clear cut, yes. So clear cut, you have a person in him who have understood, just like Bala Muhammad has said, he understands the economy and he's able to bring in good governance to our country.
All right, thank you very much, Tanko. All right, let's hear from Ken Sola. Ken Sola. Sorry if I didn't pronounce your name correctly. Ken Sola, are you ready to speak?
Yeah, I'm here.
All right, go on.
Yeah, good evening, everyone. I'm very happy for the movement we have in this time in our country's life. And I'm also happy for the fact that we have brilliant minds here that we want to push our country to the destination we desire. Now, my first question will be this. The way the things are going right now in our polity, based on the current people
like he's having a connection problem. I don't know. Can you hear him? Mark, can you hear him?
No, I couldn't hear him anymore.
Okay. Ken Sola, please sort out your internet while we have other persons bring their questions. Okay, let's take another question from Honorable Prince. Honorable Prince.
He's a listener, not a speaker. Okay.
Okay, Uncle P, go on.
Okay, good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
Okay, so I have certain... First of all, I want to congratulate everybody for being here. If you can't hear me clearly, I have a retainer in my mouth, so...
Your voice is loud and clear.
Okay, so when we were asked to join the EDC registration, I joined. They brought out the OK movement list of coordinators and everybody. I contacted my state coordinator. They brought out the Obidient Connect website. I joined. And as someone that has joined all these platforms, as a matter of fact, when one MMC, the 1 million man march, we came together and wanted to do a 1 million march, I still contributed. Like I've been really active. Do you get? And as someone that has been trying to, has this zeal to get these things to work, I think I have earned a bit of right to complain about certain things. First of all, the group that is the Obidient group. Normally, when you join the Obidient Connect, you put in your PVC, then they'll now categorize everybody into polling units and wards. In the group that I am in, my ward, I am the only person. I've been the only person for a couple of days. The OK movement, we asked to they put the numbers of our coordinators and everything. I contacted my state coordinator, and the responses have not been as encouraging as we want it to be. He promised to create a group chat. No group chat has been created. What I'm trying to say is that things on ground, I'm telling you now, as somebody that has been actively taking part in this, I'm telling you as like an outsider or somebody that is against the movement, I am for the movement. As a matter of fact, that night that they said Wiki wants to shut down our venue, that night around 1, I was there with their Mama P and the rest. I'm trying to tell you, like, there's a bit of disconnect between what we are doing online and what we are doing offline. But I say it's not translating. Do you get? Because iron sharpens iron. I stay in a particular area and we have not been able to mobilize from online for me to meet anybody offline. Do you get? Okay, today I went out to argue and even talk to certain.
Hello, Uncle P.
Can you hear me?
Would you like to present this as a question? If you have any question within this, could you land with it so we can?
The question is how. Okay, let me just summarize. If I'm talking too much, because maybe I'm talking a bit too much. I'll say this. Is there a way that we can translate from our online presence, which is a very strong presence, to offline? Because I need to start getting in touch with Obedience offline. I have that. That is what I want at this moment at a ward level. Yes. Thank you very much.
Okay, I'm very happy to meet you. Extremely happy to meet you.
Okay, I saw you at the convention. I could not.
I know they carry anything. That's what I did. Solo. Nothing.
Nothing. If you celeb, bros, you don't understand. If you celeb, I mean, hear you.
No, forget that matter. But no celeb at all. Come to me so that we can be relating. Let me explain. As a leader, of course, you are a leader. Do you know that you yourself can initiate others to join you in that yourself group? You don't need to wait for anybody to call you or connect with anybody. You are a connector already. If you are not seeing them doing it, you have the power to move people in. Do you understand what I'm saying? Every one of us are leaders. All of us we are doing mobilization. Nobody should stop. That's why we are not gagging anybody. Move, call people. When you come 1-2 person, I did what were called Operation 1010. You mobilize 10 people. There are 10 people, they come into that particular group, whichever group you have already connected with. The 10 group become your own connecting point. The other people have 10 connecting points. We are moving. So don't wait for anybody. Beg you, don't wait for anybody. Let them come with you. You create them. You know what I did? Many people, if I posted, they will tell me that, what did I win in my local government? I know those ones who are accusing whether we won election. I had eight polling booths in my ward in Buhari local government in Dawaki. We won all. For those who did not know, we won all of them. But today I have moved that particular polling unit of mine to my local government in Kura because I believe that every one of us should go back to his polling unit and mobilize. That is where the action is. So if you are listening to me, every one of us, please identify your polling unit. How many people have you been able to mobilize? Record them, put them into the group. That is the way to go to mobilize. Nobody will do it for you and say, come and do. No, you do it. If you have competition of people who are doing it, join together and make it more stronger. Today, I've been able to move that my polling unit back to my village. And I can tell you by the grace of God, I will win that polling unit. I pray to God, the way I'm mobilizing, I will win that polling unit, even around it. So that is the way. It's not an individual thing. It's a collective thing. Go back to that ward and mobilize around that polling unit where you are and put them into the system. Thank you.
Can I just come in here? So I just bring some OP, and thank you very much for that, your question. Now, the thing is, like we said at the beginning of this conversation, we're building. Now, we have state coordinators. We have local government coordinators. The reason why we're coming to this space is because of things like what you said. Now, Dr. Tanko is one person, I am one person. We cannot be in every local government at the same time. But everybody can be in different places. This is why we're opening up this mechanism. This whole idea of hosting a regular update is to open up, because somebody in one local government can be saying, oh, I am organizing, I have these numbers. If you ask sometimes and be like, but we're not seeing it on our database, the person will be like, oh, not everybody has mobile phones and all of that. Now, but the fact is, we are opening up multiple channels to hold everybody accountable. This is no longer a time to hold position and be just talking. There are metrics to check everybody now. There is going to be ways to say, okay, how many meetings have you held? How many people have you mobilized in the last week? As we're talking about funding, our funding is going to be tied to activities. So we want everybody to sit up and everybody to be actively working. So your feedback is very much noted, but it's something that we all already know. And this is why we're bringing in all these measures to get everybody on board and get a proper loop. That local government that there is nobody working, but somebody is claiming that they are working, we can pick them out, identify them on this. Then that brings me to the second point of what Dr. Tanko has said. You are a leader in yourself, in your own right. You have people around you. If that's where you live, even if it's all the gatesmen and all of that, you start mobilizing. Nobody says you cannot be the state coordinator. The point is, show capacity so that tomorrow, if that person is found wanting and removed and say, okay, this person is no longer capable enough, let the people there now say, Uncle P is the person that can mobilize us in this local government and it's the person we want to lead. So it is the fact that, like you said, iron sharpens iron. We want everybody to participate. Go and create your own capacity. Build your own people so that those people will come up and say, in this place, this is the person we want to lead us. And then we can now say, okay, this is the person that is leading because he has the number. He's the one that everybody is willing to follow. He's the one that is organizing. Initially, we were able to pick leadership based on the fact of like, okay, last election, some people were very active in 2023. Maybe for certain reasons now, they are no longer very active. They're not able to mobilize. But they are not also bold enough to come up and say, sorry, right now I've got other things that are making me so busy. I cannot continue to engage and all of that, right? So at a certain point, we want to get to that point where we're able to have a transparent process of which leaderships emerge, whereby leadership emerge by the work you've done, the work you've shown to be seen doing and all of that. So it is just a process that we are all building, and we believe that everybody is part of that process. So please, my message is don't wait for us. Start building in your base so that when this, and keep bringing this feedback, like this local government, go on the website. There is a way you can drop a message. If you are signed up on the website, you will see that in your inbox, there's a way you can drop a message. You will see your leadership board if your leader has been uploaded, because we're still uploading all the leaders. And most of these things is taking us time because we don't have all the manpower. The money we have to hire people is just few. So we're doing it. Some leadership boards are already updated. If you go and look at that point, you'll probably see who is your state coordinator.
No, my own is not my polling unit where I registered to vote, where I vote is in Nasarawa State.
So these are the things.
The board, I've checked, I even dropped the message in the group chat. I don't think there's nothing.
On the Obidient website.
Okay, don't worry.
Obidient
will
Connect,
send
right?
you.
No, not Obidient.
No. Obidient Connect is different. We're talking about the Obidient movement. What we'll do is that I said connect with Dr. Analom, who will give all the data of all the 3 persons in each local government. You will get them, and we can send you their phone number. Why would you not want to publish this? It easily give them they become vulnerable to other people who may want to use them for other malfeasance. So, but if you call us directly, we'll give you the numbers and people that you meet. If they are not active, make them active. But these are the people that are on the ground.
Please. I'll follow Dr. Nalo. Me, I'm 100% interested, so I'm down.
Thank you. Thank you.
What we're trying to eliminate. You don't have to contact me. We don't want this thing that if you don't have my inbox, you cannot reach me. If you register on obidient.com, go register, login, you will see your leadership board. Once you reach your leadership, you can send them a message directly. You can also bring a feedback and say, I have contacted this person, he is not responding. And that feedback is what we're going to use to make a decision on whether that person is fit or not. it's not. You can contact me. I will help and all of that. But we don't want it to be. You must know somebody to get what you want in the movement. We want to create. What we say we create a structure is that anybody anywhere should be able to have access without knowing anybody. You don't need to know anybody. You don't need to reach out to anybody's inbox or this thing. We want you to operate through the official platforms where we can work with. It is obidient.com. Any other platform, any other person is giving you, they are creating whatever they want to do. Like we said, different people can create this. Obidient Connect is created by a certain group of people. They are also valid. They are supporting.
So sorry, excuse me. What website are you talking of in particular? Because I just tried obidient.com. It's not.
S.
It's not there. I tried Obidient Movement.
There's an S. Obidient. It will come on the
please, because you have to unify this.
It will come on the jumbotron shortly.
Just
on the jumbotron, please.
Click on the profile. Actually, it is this profile.
Go to the bio.
Yeah. So please just click on the profile. Click on the bio. It's in the bio.
And let me just
on as well.
On the jumbotron, add to that is the fact that there are different things happening within the movement. Now, Mr. A comes in and creates a platform and all of that. They are doing what they want to do. But anything that has to do with obedience, please, it is going to be officially said from the obedience update. We're trying to create a seamless structure of information. If we say this is where we're going to be doing XYZ from, it's going to be released on our website, on our platforms. It's going to be posted on our website. It's going to be sent as emails out to everybody's inbox so that everybody gets the same information. Because what we've noticed is there's a whole lot of sometimes misinformation. Oh, this person is this person is that. Please, let us try to rely on the official channels. Our website is obidient.com. Our Twitter official communication channel is Obedient Update for now. The next thing that we're hoping to roll out is the regular bi-weekly newsletters. We are appealing for volunteers. If you go on your platform, you will see where it says you can volunteer with us. You can, if you want to also run for office, there's a form for you to complete so that we can get your details. So all of these things we are creating, and we're trying to design this thing to be seamless, that you do not need to start looking for Chukwudi's inbox or Dr. Tanko's inbox or my phone number. Just go through the official channels. Thank you.
All right, we're going to move this a little quicker. But before then, I would like to apologize to Peter Obi 2027. I didn't mean to gag you, and I'm sorry about how I came across. I want to also appeal to everybody, please be patient with us. Be patient. We're just trying to have this conversation in a manner that is organized. So in the next 22 minutes, we're going to move to contributions. So we have just 22 minutes to exhaust the questions. So please make your questions as quick and snappy as possible. And then for the speakers, please make your responses also as precise as possible so we can maximize the little time we have. Thank you. Let's move to Egbezo. Okay, sorry, Honorable Prince. Honorable Prince, go on. You have the floor.
Yeah, good evening, everybody. Good evening, Honorable. I thank everybody for this great opportunity. Yeah, my question simply goes to the primary election that was mentioned earlier through different words. You know, some of us that came through Labour Party, just taking my word as an example, when we came in, I tried to incorporate with them. I noticed the clique were from PDP, former PDP that joined ADC. They already had structure. They moved from PDP to ADC. Then during the congresses, they said nothing is changing. They are still going to maintain this structure. So my question is, if they actually maintain this structure, and I know it happened all the way from all the wars in Imo State. I know the same thing happened every ward in Imo State. So it means we have a sort of a hold by this set of team in our ward and in our states. And I don't know how it is in other states. So if this primary election has to be done in different wards, direct primaries, as said, my question is, how are we going to deliver P2B? Because it's going to be difficult. So when we are seeing persons like Atiku being more stronger, you know, with boldness. I think something is giving him boldness. So if this Congress was done like this, and it was just, I was monitoring it, I started from wards to from units, everything were just with I'm not saying they are not my people. Yeah, they are my people, they are my friends, but there's nothing I could do than allowing them. So my question is, how are we going to deliver P2B in primaries if it is direct primary and not consensus? Thank you so much.
Who would like to respond? Or should we take one more question before we have you respond? I guess that will help us save time.
Okay, let's do that.
All right, JJ. No, Egbezo. Egbezo, go for it. Egbezo, can you hear me? Egbezo more.
Hello, good evening. I can hear you.
Good evening. I think we have a woman finally.
Not finally. I guess you kind of divided the segment. I guess now it's for questions and then contributions later. So I don't have questions. So I'll pass and probably wait till when.
Thank you so much. All right, let's move to JJ.
Okay, good evening, guys, everyone.
Good evening.
Oga. Sir, thank you. Good evening. I greet you, sir. My own question is mostly along the line with the Uncle P, right? We still need this, will I call it the link or this link to trickle down to our local government and polling units. Many local government, there is no, the obedient structure is not reflecting on ground. I mean, offline now. For example, I'm speaking rightly from Lagos State now. I'm in Yaba, and in Yaba local government where I am right now, very close to Unilag. There's no structure. There's nothing. Even some of last month when the ADC online registration started, I was able to register on my own more than 50 people, just using like different methods. Some I'll just post on my page. If you can register, I'll send you the link. Then I give them a token just to encourage. But from my own hand here, nothing, no effect, nothing. I like this. Mr. Okupi said, I'm very active also. In 2023, I was able to mobilize in different states. I was in my parents are in Ondo State. I was sending money, sending t-shirts, sending caps to Ondo State to build structure there. But there's no support, nothing. On my own, I'm just doing that. I was able to donate money to Labour Party account on my own also. That one, there are a lot of other things that like that. So for even I myself, I was expecting that. How are we funding this Labour obedient structure? How is it being funded? Is it that PO is putting some money down every month or what? But because there's no proper coordination for us to know the link, okay, everyone, at least maybe every month you have to donate, if it's 5,000, 10,000 or 1,000, something like that, so that everybody can know what is happening. By now, I'm expecting that we should have a strong structure already. All this one we are doing is like we are starting afresh again. There's some structure that we can build on already, but I know it's not easy. And because I was at Keja with the Dr. Tanko and this guy from Delta State also, where we have an obedient meeting during fasting period. Dr. Tanko will remember. So we have been doing a lot, but before that one will start off afresh again. So what can we do to like galvanize these things structurally very well? And those that are committed should be follow up and gingered, and instead of some people, for example, we just wake up and we see names, whereas we have not even heard from them, we've not seen them before. Though there are some people that are active on underground that they don't want to be seen, or they don't want to be known. But there are some people that want to be fully involved. They want, despite that they are working, they still want, they have the interest, the desire, everything. They are not being galvanized. They are not being properly followed, and there are no proper coordination that will ginger. For example, Dr. Tanko is saying, okay, any local government you want to go to, I have 3 people on ground. Just reach out to us. We'll give you the contact. You know, we should have more. And by now, I'm expecting that in all our polling units, there should be a representative from all already. In my own place here, all the polling units, I've not seen anybody from there. Nobody is standing on behalf of our polling unit. My polling unit is in Agege. Anytime I want to vote, I go to Agege. But I mobilize people in my area here, very close to it. It's a student area. But you know, to round up now, I respect Dr. Tanko. He's doing a great job. There are challenges. I know it's not easy. No, you can't please everybody. I've fought with some people, some obedient. Like one lady, Zikris is her name. You know, she will always complain and I said we can't move forward with complaints. Let's if it's one concept, let's hold on to it and fight for it and make sure it comes to limelight.
JJ,
So
you've asked your
submission
question.
finally.
I believe you've asked your question, so let's have them respond to your question.
Let me round up, please. Let me round up. I'm almost done. Thank you. So, as an obedient, there are a lot of people that are on ground that are willing and ready to sacrifice and do everything for PO. Please, let's reach out to them. Let's galvanize and let's make sure we bring this new Nigeria of our dream. A lot of people are craving for it. We want it. It's what we want. Please. Thank you very much. Kudos to everybody. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, JJ. All right, Naza.
Thank you so much, JJ. Thank you so much, JJ. So, before we want to bring up new speakers, so I'm going to start taking some people off of the speaker section. Thank you for those who have joined us. But I'm going to start dropping, people who have spoken so that others can come up as well. We're almost done with the question segment. And then we can open the floor for, contributions and all of those things. Thank you so much, everybody. Chuka, please, over to you.
Thank you, Naza. So, Chukwu, did you want to respond to that?
Yeah, I want to respond. And it's the same thing I said to the other speaker. These things, why we are opening up these spaces, why we're trying to set, because when you build a structure, you want to create the feedback loops, right, and update loops. This platform is for such. The website is for sure, because we cannot be everywhere. Even if we open up this space, for example, and say we're going to allow people come here and tell us what the problem is, how many people can speak? In a 3-hour space, if we give everybody to speak, only about 180 people, if we give everybody 1 minute to speak, only about 880 people will be able to tell us what is happening in their polling units. But if we can use the channels, because the truth is, it's not like we are not aware that certain people are not living up to expectations. But how are we able to find them out? How are we able, because most times, this is the reality here. You say, okay, this person is not functioning and you want to remove the person. Then tomorrow you see a tweet on social media. Oh, it is because they want a cabal. They want to do this. That is why they are removing me. Right? There is no objective. And that time, the people who were complaining will not come back and say, oh, no, you were removed. It's because you were not performing. So that's why we're trying to create an objective way of which these things are done. If your people are complaining and saying, this person has not called for a meeting, for example, let's say for a state, one state is saying, oh, our state coordinator, he does not call anybody for any meeting. He just takes decision on his own. He's not engaging everybody. Bring those complaints forward, and then we are able to engage and say, okay, sorry, you're not doing what's the job here. You're not helping mobilize people. You're not doing anything. So you need to go so that somebody else can come. But also, for you to be able to fill that gap, do not wait until this is fixed. You as a person, you're a leader in your own self. If there has not been anybody in your local government calling people together, can you take that responsibility and start calling people together? Because that's the leadership. And that is what will now make you become the leader that other people will accept if you emerge tomorrow. Because if you are also sitting down and just saying, nothing is happening in my ward, nothing is happening in my local government, tomorrow, if you still come up as the leader, people will be like, oh, this one, no, he doesn't have capacity. Why are you bringing him up? But if you have started organizing, then nobody is going to contest that conversation. People are going to be like, yeah. And if at that point they're saying somebody needs to come into this space, people will bring your name up and say, okay, this is the person. But most importantly is that we're hoping to move to a point from where we are just having to nominate people to a point whereby we're able to hold congresses among the obedient movement and get people to say, okay, this is the most popular person, this person, and people pick their own leaders themselves. And all we need to do is make those names available. So it's a bit of a a catch-22 situation whereby we're in the middle of it, we're growing from the front, but we also want the growth from the back. Don't keep waiting until somebody does something. Nobody's doing something. Take responsibility. Demonstrate yourself as a leader so that way you can fill the void when that opportunity comes. And regarding the other question that was asked about, sorry, what was the first question again? I forgot what he said.
Here, he's still here. He can repeat that part. JJ?
I think there's some.
JJ is gone.
It's the first guy before JJ. Okay, Honorable Prince.
Okay.
Honorable. So, as regards this whole thing about structures at different level with the ADC, right? That's why we are saying own the grassroots, own your word. It's a number game. Even rigging, you cannot rig elections where you're not popular. You cannot write results where you're not popular. So it's the numbers. If, for example, you are in Imo State or Owerri Municipal and you are in Ward 5, and in Ward 5, you have 10,000 obedience, let me not say 10,000 at the ward level, let's say 600 obedience or 1,000 obedience at the ward level. Sorry, nobody can come and write results there. Nobody can come and say this is happening. So the fact is, at a certain level of the table, yes, we were shortchanged in certain areas. And this thing is politics, right? You have already, let's say Imo State, you had what's his name? Captain or Ihedi, right? What's his name? Meka Ihedi. He's been there. He had his own structure. He got into the ADC before we came in. They picked all those things and they made those decisions. Some states were able to do some trade-offs. Some states are still fighting and all of that. But this thing, like what obedience do. You start mobilizing people, get people into the party. On that day, let you have 1,000 people standing at where they need to do the counting. Sorry, nobody can write results there. That person that has 3-4 people cannot overpower 1,000 of you. So that's the way that we can do these things. It's not everywhere we will have our way, but the places we don't have our way, what is our alternative approach to be able to defend what we have? Thank you.
All right, let's go to the next speaker. Thank you very much for that clarification. Engineer Andy, go for it. Engineer Andy, can you hear me? Engineer Andy.
Yeah, hello.
Go for it.
Okay, thank you so much, guys. First of all, I want to appreciate everyone. I've been following what has been happening. Lost hope and I've left the country. So, but right now, I just want to encourage every one of us here. I think what's the challenge right now that I'm seeing is the primaries and not the general election. When we look at what is happening right now, like I came into this space and
hello, engineer. If you don't mind, it seems you have a contribution rather than a question. So in 7 minutes, we're going to go into contribution. Would you mind if I give the mic to someone else to ask a question? Then when we're starting with contribution, you'll be the first to speak. Is that okay?
Yeah, it's okay. Because I thought, okay, it's okay.
All right. So let's hear from, thank you for that. Let's hear from Field Marshal. Field Marshal, go for it.
Yeah, thank you very much. So, good evening, everybody. So my question is, goes sorts. Some time ago, when we were trying to build the structure, a call came for nominations into national and state levels within the Obidient movement. So I'm wondering why that didn't happen, and why that didn't happen, and okay, let me just end that. Why that didn't happen? Thank you.
Do you want to take that? I don't know if the can. Okay, so with the leadership structure, right? It's not perfect. There have been a lot of challenges, and let us use a typical example of even the ADC. Thank God somebody like Honorable Prince just spoke recently that despite ADC with the structure it has, right, struggle to conduct a direct election and congresses across board. Now imagine an obedient movement, right? Now you need a leadership in place to bring the house together before you are able to do things in like, okay, you want to conduct an election. If you're saying, okay, let us go and vote for leaders and all of that, somebody needs to call people to a place. Somebody needs to organize all of that, all of these things. Now, in terms of how the leadership were picked, there were multiple parameters in picking. And some of these things is about consultations. Now, unfortunately, we cannot consult with everybody at all the time. Sometimes you get into a state, a major part of these consultations were happening with people that were within a certain frame. Let's say, for example, you come into a state and you have asked for name and they tell you, okay, Mr. A is was the leader of XYZ support group. This person is the leader of XYZ support group. Then you bring out this person played a key role in the last elections and all that. And remember that those of us who were tasked with this duty were not all in this whole state. We all had our own various states. We're only a 7-man committee. When you now bring all these people together, you have an engagement with them and all of that. Sometimes you will realize that there's one person that maybe everybody's like, oh, this person is the most popular. He's the one that is the mobilizer and all of that. But you also now realize that he's not able to bring people my way or the highway and all of that. So you need to find a middle point. So there's all these trade-offs that happened. Now we're not going to sit here and tell you, oh, that is the perfect way. That's not the perfect way we would like to do it. Our preference will be that people come together, have their meetings, and decide on their leaders. But in the interim, to fill that vacuum is why we had to use the approach we used to be able to say, okay, this person is an interim capacity. Everybody at the moment that you hear is a leader is an interim capacity. It is just that a lot of events keep happening that continues to slow us down. Sometimes we are doing XYZ, we are hoping to get to this target point in the next 3 months. Before you know, somewhere else, something blows up and you have to start fixing, quenching that fire, and having meetings and all of that. But at the moment, I think we're in a good place whereby certain things have come to stay. Certain processes have come to stay. And as we are able to strengthen that processes, we will now be able to get to the point where we're now saying, okay, people should be able to elect their leaders as a collective. So that your nomination, you didn't see the name you nominated or all of that. It is because we had at certain points to find a middle ground, to find what is best workable. Some places, somebody was more popular, more acceptable, but maybe the person lacks in leadership qualities. Some other places, the other person that had good leadership qualities might not be popular. So we just had to find a middle ground to have a seeming leadership that exists at the moment to coordinate everybody. And if you can see why we are opening up all these channels, that we also know that there is some deficiencies in what we have done, and you have leaders that are not delivering, and we're trying to create a process that we will be able to identify them and be able to correct those things, and then we can have a movement that we'll all move forward with. So the point is, we are all building together. There is no one-size-fits-all solution here. Everybody, what we're trying to do is join us. We are creating the avenue so that you can come in. If you want to volunteer, for example, we want to create a monitoring and evaluation department. Go on the website and volunteer. You want our media to communicate better, you want us to put out more content, come out and volunteer. These things are not going to happen overnight. It's not going to happen from the sky. It is all obedient that will do it. And that's why our job is to create all the portals that can bring everybody together, bring everybody into a loop. And once we all put our hands together, we can build whatever we desire to build. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Thank you for that. We'll take one more, the last question. Okay, I have to say this. After this question, we're going into contributions, but it doesn't mean that you can't ask questions in the contribution segment. Anything you want to ask about, feel free, because that's what this is about, conversation. Let's hear from Jasper.
Sorry, please. Let me just bring one update because
when it's done, you can bring that up.
Hello, can you hear me?
Okay, go ahead. Yeah.
Go on, Jasper.
Okay, am I audible?
Loud and clear.
Okay, so I've been listening to everything that's been said, and I believe the most important thing, although we are looking ahead,
is it a question?
Right, we are looking at the future. Yes, I'll ask my question. I just want to lay a foundation. Okay. Yes, so we want Peter Obi to become president, but at the same time, we have to realize that there are several steps, little steps that we must take to achieve that goal. I'm looking at the general election, and I know it's a big problem, but our main focus right now in the obedient movement should be the primary election. Anything that is not about winning the primary election, we are derailing. At that point, we are derailing, because if we don't win these primaries, we have a big problem. So what are we doing? What are the strategies? What are we putting in place to ensure that we secure the primaries? And believe me, my number one strategy is that we have the numbers. We have the numbers, but we have to do the work to build that capacity and make sure everybody joins the party and vote on that day. We have the numbers, but we have to create the strategy and deploy the strategy in such a way that we're able to build momentum for the primaries. Because if we're not building towards the primaries and we're not able to secure the primaries totally, we have a big problem. So that's my question to Mr. Dr. Tanko. What is the strategy? What are we building towards securing the primaries so that we can go for the general? That's my question. Thank you.
Dr. Tanko, do you want to respond? Maybe he's
been engaged. I don't know.
All right. If you want to respond, go on.
Yeah, I can respond. So, regards the primaries, direct primaries is a game of numbers. It is who has more numbers. But now, I always say something about elections. Election is not just about recruiting people. It's about retaining them and redeploying them. You can register 10,000 people. If you don't get them out on the day to vote, it means nothing. So the thing is, how are we able to increase our recruitment? How are we able to keep engagement with these people? Because it's not one thing for you to just go into a market just because of you want to say, oh, I'm registering people. But you're registering people that do not even understand the implication of the primaries. But the numbers are rising. Now, how have you been able to maintain contact with these people to be able to tell them, so day is the primary, so please go out and go and vote? Because that is how you retain them and then redeploy them on the day of that primaries. This is how we are able to win. Now, people need to work as a collective. And in politics, three things for me, this is how I learned politics, is that three things matter. You always need the people, which is the numbers. You need the knowledge to be able to organize them and mobilize them, and you need the finances to do that. Now, as we are all obedient, we all fall into different categories here. Mr. A might be a professional who knows how to draw Excel sheets, manage everybody, coordinate the flow and all of that. But he's so busy with work that he doesn't have the time to go out and canvass and do the door-to-door knocking. Can he come in and volunteer and take that position of doing the organizing behind the scene? Mr. B is good that, okay, you know what, at the moment, I have just finished uni, I'm waiting for NYC, I have the ability, I have the time to go out there, put a canopy outside, get people to register. Then he's doing that. And then the third person is able to say, you know what, oh, I'm in diaspora, I have a few funds, or I live in Lagos, but I'm registered in Delta State, and I have some money, but I don't have the ability to travel down, I'm too busy at the moment. Then you can say, okay, you know what, let me bring the funds to do the work that I cannot do in person. Now, this is where coordination comes in. This is why we're saying all our portals are trying to be uploaded so that everybody can reach out to people and say, what are you doing? And even if you don't see other people, the truth is once you start doing the work, people will attract to you. People will reach out to you. People will know you. For example, there was this lady in Port Harcourt who was doing, well, I can't remember her name. Peter Obi Menchik, right? Nazar, I think that's her name.
Peter Obi Menchik, yeah.
Yeah. So she doing the work, and all of a sudden people identified her and people are reaching out to her, people are working with her. So this is the thing, that we need to increase the numbers of obedience who are P2B leaning in the Labour Party, in ADC. But most importantly, it is not just to improve the numbers. We must retain these people. We must have a way to contact them. We must have a way to reach them. And that's why we're encouraging people. And register people, not just on the ADC, register them on the obedience.com website, so that we can also be able to send them SMS and all of that when it's time, because that's how we retain them. We have their data points. We're able to now say, okay, send a message to them and tell them, see, your ADC primaries is on Tuesday. Please come out and vote. This is what we need to do. It is all about organizing, and at various levels, this organizing matters. While we are building our structure, we can run and chew gum at the same time. We don't need to wait until all our structures are 100% fortified. At that point, we will not say, oh, it's now time to go. No, we can, while we're building the structures, we can continue to act in our capacity, like B2B's main chief. Tomorrow, if she becomes the mobilizer for the South, nobody will argue that, because everybody has seen the work that she is doing and things like that. So this is what we are trying to marry. We're trying to marry doing the work, taking the initiative yourself, and demonstrating yourself to be a leader, so that tomorrow you can be at the one who is leading and charging from the front. I don't know if that's helpful to everybody. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Analo. All right, we are moving into the next segment, 5 minutes late. Mag, do you want to take it up? Hello, Mag.
I can take it.
All right.
Hold on. So, thank you everybody for all your questions thus far. If we remember, Chuka had mentioned earlier that the stage is still open for people to ask questions. So please, in as much as we are in the suggestions corner of the space, people can still ask their questions if they have them. We are going to take a new roster of hands. The first hand I see up is C King. So there's C King and there's P2B 2027. So we'll take it that way.
Kayode, there's Chris. So the four of them.
Oh, I don't see their hands. I'm sorry.
I think we promised engineer, I can't remember his name, that he would be the first. I can't find him on the space anymore.
Engineer, are you still here? I can't find him on the space anymore. I remember him, but I can't see him here.
Egweza also passed the mic, saying that she would wait for contribution segment. So I think we should start with Egweza, then after that.
All right, let's take the lady. Yeah. Egweza, please, you have the floor. Then C King, then Peter, Peter Bickinson 7, then Kolade, then Chris. Thank you.
Ladies on the space, please come into this conversation. Let's not make it a man's affair, please. Feel free to come in and contribute to the conversation. You're part of the movement. Your voice matters. Who?
To everyone on the space.
Egweza, welcome.
Thank you. Where do I start from? Let me just start from the obedience update handle that is up. Appreciation for trying to give us something to hold on to, something we can get our direct information from. But I just wanted to quickly point out certain things. Like, I feel like we are a movement, and I feel like we should be acting as a pressure group, in which I don't see, right? Before now, there were lots of misinformation that went on this space, and we try to fight that on our own.
Hello, Egweza, we can't hear you anymore. Hello?
Can you hear me now?
Okay, go on. When you said this space, do you mean this Twitter space or on Twitter?
Yeah, I'm talking about Twitter space, on Twitter.
Okay, go on, please.
Okay, so back to what I was saying. Like, there was a lot of misinformation when the ADC registration started. We're under the impression that we had 5 days or thereabout to run that registration, because the names were going to be submitted, and basically there was no clear-cut information to tell us that that was actually false. We're trying to do all we could to actually get people registered into the ADC. We had a lot of things, and at that point in time, I felt the obedient leadership should have come out to actually tell us what was actually obtainable. And then at this point in time, we just have a few days to go, and the issue on the front burner is the issue of getting people registered into the ADC. For me, I feel it is quite late. I think what we should be doing now is basically, mounting pressure. Yeah, a movement is supposed to be a pressure group. We're supposed to be mounting pressure on the ADC that this is what we want. Everybody know the ticket, that should actually sell or that can fly. We all know that is the obese ticket, right? So the issue of primaries at this point in time does not sit well with me. I feel we should be able to mount pressure. We should be able to call for rallies to say ADC, this is what we want. Yeah, we should be able to put that pressure. And then with the issue of, you know, Amipiton and, you know, other things that have, you know, gone, you know, wrong, I feel we should have been able to mount pressure, though it's not late. Those are the things me I prefer to, you know, see at this point in time. You know, I feel we're late, but you know, at the same time, we can still do something, right? Can we, you know, take up that, you know, real position as a pressure group and actually mount pressure and not come out at this point in time to say, oh, let's get mobilized into the ADC, let's prepare for primary. I will say it over and over again. I don't trust any primaries that will be conducted because, for crying out loud, this is Nigeria, and then we can expect anything. And then we know how our politicians operate. And then one concern I've always had in my mind was the fact that the ADC registration portal is not very open, like it's not really transparent. You can't see the registered numbers. We only bank on what people tell us that, oh, so state has 1,000, you know, people registered, so state have 500,000. These things are supposed to be open. Like, I'm supposed to get into the ADC portal and be able to see the number of registered members according to their state. That way I'll be able to, okay, have confidence that, oh, if they decide to go for primary, I know, see, you know, no mago. But something that is left for, oh, is only the back end guys that can actually see this number. That raises question and that raises concern. And I feel like every well-meaning Nigerian and every obedient, you know, should have that concern, right? So for me now, pressures we are supposed to be mounting on the ADC is to force the ADC to zone their ticket to the south. Yeah, that way Atiku is off, you know, off that block, and we don't have to, you know, engage in that particular conversation of trying to get him to step down. If we're able to, you know, get ADC to zone to the south, automatically that puts an end to Atiku's, you know, ambition and whatever. You know, for me, these are the things I feel we should be doing at this point in time. I think I'll leave it here. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Zemo. Where's Zemo? All right, let's go to Peter Obi 2027.
So how many of them are we taking?
Hey, Chuka, can you guys hear me now?
Oh, yes, I can hear you, Mark. Thank God, finally
okay,
you are.
much better.
Finally, you're plugged.
Yeah, thank you. Sorry. Yeah. All right, let's keep it going. Go ahead, sir.
I just not believe I cannot see him. I can't see him. Welcome back, Mag.
I can't see myself too, but I don't know what's going on today. Let's just keep it going. Sorry, guys.
All right. Peter Obi 2027. Go for it.
I thought it was seeking, but anyway, let me go ahead. Thank you once again, Elvis Chinwosu here. As someone who have devoted my time and money since 2022 in seeing Peter be elected as president, I really want to sincerely thank all the political activists, obedients who use their time on social media, different platforms, spaces, trying to shape the narrative, amplify the failures of this government, and actually being on the trenches, fighting for P2B to emerge the candidate. I really recognize your efforts. It's what you do every day on Twitter. You cannot actually, it is priceless. I'm very happy we can still ask questions. My question is this. If the Supreme Court refuses to recognize the faction, the leadership faction of David Mark in ADC, what actions will the Obedient movement do? Remember what I'm saying. I'm saying now the Obedient movement. Because I think for anybody who has been following the Nigerian political space, it is quite clear that the democracy as we see it today is quite under a big wahala. Let me use it that way. Today, the government have captured the judiciary, the INEC, and the security services. So, do we have to meet to find out how we can amplify and tell the world what is happening, because it's quite clear that the government wants to cancel P2B from being on the ballot. So that's one question I would like us to know. And maybe we should also use our time in asking the Supreme Court to give a judgment as quick as possible. I understand about the battles, about the primaries, the need for a consensus candidate and every other thing. But that becomes secondary if we are not able to have a platform to fill P2B on the ballot. Thank you very much. Stay strong, everybody. Let's keep making it uncomfortable for the bandits in power.
Okay, so once again, P2B 2027, I still believe that such questions, you should be part of the people answering this question because you are a leader of the movement. So I don't know why you're bringing this question to us. But that being said, I think that certain things are better left and managed internally, because if we say it on Twitter space of what we are going to do, then it's no longer a strategy and all of that. But are there going to be actions? Are there conversations ongoing? Yes, there are conversations ongoing about these things. What will be done? At least we all have belief in our principle that at certain times where the mantle has come to him to make decisions, he has made the right decisions. So we wouldn't believe that at the moment that he doesn't have option A, option B, option C. There are options on the table. But as you know, if we put those cards on the table, then our ever ready current government of the day would run and go and get an injunction about it, because they get injunctions against injunctions right now in Nigeria. So please, if you permit me, let's leave that to our chest, and when the time comes, we will be doing the right thing and everybody will be involved. In regards to what Ebezoma, sorry, I didn't get the name of the said as regards what we need to do in terms of putting pressure, it still boils down that we can run and chew gum at the same time. We cannot put all our eggs in one basket. We need to be ready for option A if we get to the direct primaries. Are we also putting pressure? Yes. Well, generally, every day you're seeing the pressure out there that this is what needs to be done. It's the time that equity should be respected. There needs to be justice in Nigeria. We want competence, compassionate leadership, and all of that. So there's pressure mounting at different points. Are we going to try to turn up the frequency? Yes, we can do that. But at the same time, we wouldn't now leave, like His Excellency will say, you cannot leave your store and start running after a thief, right? We cannot say while we are trying to mount pressure, we're not going to start mobilizing more numbers into the party. We go to direct primaries, we wouldn't have the numbers. So it's important that we are doing both sides of the thing. Thank you. Dr. Tanko is back now, so he can come.
All right. Welcome back, Dr. Tanko. Let's hear from C. King. C. King, go for it.
All right. Thank you. So what I have questions and contribution. And I like to, I understand the last answer regarding what P2B 2027 asked. But again, our work is quite cut out for us. Movements are not organizations. And the advantages of movements are because they can fight from different fronts, which means they can be multitasking. In the sense that is narrative control, message control, and media influence. And the obedient movement is unique because the resources, you have so much resources that you're not paying for. Let's just be factual about it. A lot of us put in a lot of time on it. Why I'm saying this is this. We have been, and it has improved a lot. We've been a little bit short on media influence control, narrative, managing the narratives. How do you do this? Like what P2B 2027 said, yes, there are certain things you don't say outside. But a lot of people here are foot soldiers. A lot of things have been heard. and changed because of the way these foot soldiers have amplified it. And it has to be noted that the idea, if you see the pattern, the idea is just like Mr. Peter B stated the last council they had on him on the leadership forum is going on, and it's going to deepen. And nobody's going to take it serious until we start magnifying those things. And how you magnify it is your media outreach, which is our media outreach is struggling. And on the side of Mr. Peter B too, needs to be done. A lot of work needs to be done. And the Supreme Court thing, like I said, you can do certain things without, you're not impugning anybody. You're not saying you're showing your cards, but this is the right thing. Why do you want to give me judgment too close to when I can't? And why do I need to start asking questions when it's getting too close because I don't want somebody to think this way? And why do I need Dr. Tanko to ask that question when I can ask it? Somebody else can ask it. That's why we have the movement. Some of these ideas can be kind of something we put down to us. Okay, this is what we're going to do. This is how we're going to do it. And this is the reality. The truth is that they don't want him on the ballot. And there is a way, if these things, and just like the Electoral Act, we wake up late. Some people like me advocated it.